Hello, I'm David Martone, Executive Chef at Classic Thyme Cooking School, and we're here for Cooking Time. Maybe I need a little background music. Everybody has a band these days. Emerald has his band, so I put together my own band. Nice little bit of background music. We start off. It gives a nice mood, nice feel for things. We're going to do some nice holiday cooking today, and just want to get everybody happy and in a good mood and have a lot of fun. Andrew, why don't you join us? Thanks for the music. Actually, my band is my son, Andrew. And I'm here with Andrew and Kara, and we're going to do some holiday cooking because I think that holiday cooking goes with family tradition. And without tradition, you have no soul. So we have a lot of traditions about cooking and things we make. And I'm going to start off by doing a dish called cipolline. Cipolline are little flat onions that are from Italy. And some people eat them raw. They're nice and sweet. My mother-in-law, my kid's grandmother, we call her Nana, loves cipolline to make them. Doesn't like to eat them, but likes to make them because one of her brothers, Uncle Lud, likes cipolline. So when we have a big holiday meal, she always makes cipolline for Uncle Lud. And she actually makes something for everybody, something special. I'm going to put a little olive oil in our pan, and then I'm going to put our cipolline onions, and we're going to brown them a little bit in our pan. While we get those browning, we'll get a couple of other dishes going together. We've got a whole lot of stuff going on today. We're going to do some artichokes. I've got a couple artichokes already cut up, and I want to just show you how we slice those up and trim them. Artichokes are my favorite, and Nina, my mother, makes those at every big holiday special for me. Kids pick on them a little bit, but not a big favorite, but always a favorite for me. And that's why around the holidays we have so many different dishes because everybody gets something special. Lower this down a little bit. With artichokes, when we cut them, they oxidize quickly. So we have a little pot with some lemon water in it to keep them from turning brown too quickly. So we're going to cut the stem off, and you'll see that stem is nice and crisp, and I dip that in a little bit of the lemon water to keep it from browning quickly. And then I'm just going to slice down the top. It's like a big flower bud, actually. And we're going to stuff these artichokes. I've been eating these since I'm a kid, and my mother could get me to jump through a hoop when she made artichokes. I don't think you guys would be so eager to do that. We spread them open a little bit, and we're going to actually make a stuffing for them. So why don't you guys just dip that in there and mix it around a little bit. You can wipe your hands on this while I take a look at our cipolline. I want to get our cipolline browning nicely. How are they doing? The lemon actually helps to keep them crisp and green looking, and it keeps the flavor crisp also. Shake all of this water out of them, and then we'll make a little bit of a breadcrumb and cheese stuffing with a little bit of garlic. Andrew, would you dump that in the sink and then leave that pot right in the sink? Okay. Have our artichokes here. Okay. Let's take some breadcrumbs. And we'll take some grated cheese. This is Pecorino Romano cheese, different than Parmesan. It's a grating table cheese, and it's made with sheep's milk. Hence the word pecorino, which means sheep. I'm going to put a little bit of some chopped garlic in it. We love garlic. Looks good. You always want to season this up, so I'm going to put a little bit of fresh pepper in it. And Kara, why don't you put a couple of pinches of salt in there? I want to keep putting some pepper in. A little bit more. Great. Now we're just going to mix this all up. I'm going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in here, which will give it a wonderful flavor. And a little splash of white wine. Just want to add a little bit of moisture to this so that when we put it in our artichokes, we have a little added moisture. Okay. Now here's the job you guys are going to do. We want to take these artichokes, put our bowl right here, and if Andrew, if you could hold these leaves open a little bit, and Kara, you can put some breadcrumb stuffing. Actually, use your fingers and just stuff them all between all of the leaves. Okay? You guys work on that. And I'm going to go over here and check our chipolline. Just want to flip these all over. They're starting to brown nicely. There are two types of chipolline. These are the white. There are also a pink type. The pink type are a bit more, actually a lot more bitter than the white. And the reason we cook them similarly is because we're going to make kind of a sweet and sour taste to them. We're going to cook them with a little sugar and some vinegar. When I'm doing the white, I use a balsamic vinegar. When I'm doing the pink, which actually I don't see the pink too much anymore in this area, but I still see them in local markets in Brooklyn, mainly in the Italian sections. The pink, I'll use red wine vinegar. As you can see, when we go to the overhead, they're starting to brown nicely. And now, to help with the caramelization, I want to add a little bit of sugar to them. I'm going to sprinkle the sugar right over the top of these. And we're going to deglaze our pan with some balsamic vinegar. And then I want to add some chicken stock. If you want to keep this a vegetarian dish, simply use a vegetable stock in place of the chicken stock. I'll check those every once in a while to make sure that all the liquid hasn't evaporated out. And I'm actually going to move these off to a back burner so we can get a lot of things going at the same time. We'll check them from time to time. Next up, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good? When you think you're all done, go back and pack them again, because they have to be really, really packed. So even after they're packed, just open these up like this. And this ensures that you have a really nice stuffed artichoke. Once you're done, you put a big mound on you pull them open, and you just push this all in, right into all of the leaves. So yeah, do them all, then go back and work them again. Then we'll be sure to have nice stuffed artichokes. Next up is broccoli rabe. Uncle Louie likes broccoli rabe, so Nana makes little Uncle Louie, not big Uncle Louie. We have two Uncle Louies. We have young Uncle Louie, and we have Uncle Louie, who is my mother-in-law's brother. Young Uncle Louie is actually my wife's brother. So young Uncle Louie likes broccoli rabe, so of course, every holiday it's broccoli rabe. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil in our pan, and we're going to do a bunch of cloves of garlic. I'm actually going to move you guys over for a hair. I'm going to steal a little space on your cutting board, and I'm going to just roughly chop this garlic. We don't want it too small, because the smaller you cut the garlic, the quicker it can brown and then burn. When it burns, it gets bitter. When I was young, meaning a lot younger than I am now, and probably your ages, artichokes you only saw for a very short period of time. Now it seems that you can get artichokes most of the year because we're getting them from all over the world. So it wasn't that you could get these foods all the time. So the holidays really meant a time for specialty cooking. So when we would get artichokes, it was like twice a year for two different holidays that we could have them. And boy, I would wait anxiously for that to happen. So how are we doing? Stuffed good?
Stuffed very well.
Stuffed very well. You know what? Push them open a little bit more and force some of that stuffing in. Kara, you got dodged the shooting stuffing. Yeah, just keep pushing it in and push it all on the outside of those leaves, all around, okay? So a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to brown up our garlic, actually not too brown, but just kind of golden. Going to move, excuse my arm there, Kara. Just switching out the breadcrumbs. Getting my broccoli rabe over here. Broccoli rabe is actually a pretty quick dish. Once the garlic is sauteed a little bit and a nice golden brown, I'm going to add the broccoli rabe. Looks like a lot of broccoli rabe, but it's actually going to collapse way down when we start cooking it. This will make kind of a splatter in the pan. Put a tiny bit of the water to make a little steam. Andrew, would you put that in the sink? Once again, we're going to season with some salt and pepper. Little extra pinch. Now, Uncle Louie likes his a little spicy, so we're going to put a little bit of red pepper. Just push that down a little bit. And actually, I think because we have so much, I'm going to add another little bit of liquid, just a little tiny bit of chicken stock. And I'm going to move this one to the back again. We'll get that one going back here. While I'm here, I'll take a quick peek at my chipolline. Okay. Next up, we want to cook those artichokes. Did I ever tell you guys a story about cooking the artichokes and Uncle Walter?
I don't think so.
My brother, who lives in California now, came home for a holiday, and my mother thought, wow, I'll cook all of the favorite things that we all like. So she made artichokes. And after we got done cooking them, my brother said to me, I don't like stuffed artichokes. And I said, what do you mean? We love artichokes. And he said, no. He said, Mom used to take a plain artichoke and always keep it for me. Now, when I cook artichokes, I take my artichokes, and after they're stuffed like this, I put them in a pot to steam with some water, and I try and get them to stand up the best I can. And they never stay real well, so I always remember my mother taking one plain, just like this, and putting it in the middle. And then she can stand all the others up and use that one in the middle as kind of a wedge to hold the other ones up. A little bit tricky to get it in at first, but you work them in just like this, and you push them down, and then you just adjust them all so that they stand up straight, and none of them are in the little bit of water, because the water is going to start to boil, and it's going to have them steam. So I don't like them without the stuffing. So I used to put a cup in. I thought my mother just put that one in there to hold it, and you know, whoever got that one, that was the last to go without the stuffing, the last one you would eat. So I would put a cup in the middle, and then I would start to cook my artichokes just like that, and they would steam. And actually, I just want to, again, put a little seasoning over the top. So my brother said to me, he said, Mom used to always put a plain artichoke in the middle for me. He said, why do you think she's not doing that anymore? And when I asked her about it, she said, oh my God, I forgot. She had forgotten too. I never knew why the plain artichoke was in there, but my brother did. And I come to find out that he doesn't like prepared lasagna also. And my mother used to leave some of the lasagna noodles, which I thought were just the broken ones, off to the side, and he would eat those instead of eating the lasagna. So all these things were actually like traditions that we had kind of forgotten about when he moved away, but they were really done for a reason. Okay, I'm just doing a quick little cleanup here. Next up, since we have that stuffing already made, so we have our artichokes will start steaming. Actually, we'll get one more thing going on this stove that has to cook for a while. We're going to make some mushrooms. Got the mushrooms all cleaned. So why don't you guys put those mushrooms in the pot. Got some water and some white vinegar. I know we have a whole lot going on here. Got those all in there, Andrew? Great. Yep. Put that right in the sink. Kara, dump this in here. Now we're going to add some white vinegar to the mushrooms. And these are just plain white button mushrooms. Put the whole thing in. Great. We're going to put some water also. Throw that in the sink, Andrew. And that's it. Water and vinegar. They're going to be like pickled. Call them marinated. But they're going to cook, so the marinade cooks in, and the vinegar will cook right into them. Now, Mom likes the marinated mushrooms, so I have to make sure and always do that for her. Okay. So we have our chipolline going. I'll take another peek at those. Looking good. We have our broccoli rabe, which I need to take a up, starting to collapse down nicely. Going to lower that down a little bit. Mushrooms and artichokes. They're in pretty good shape. Next up, we want to do some baked clams. Clams sometimes are a little difficult to open. You want to get your knife right in the seam of the clam and just push right through, just like this. And that pops it open. And then we take the knife and we separate the clam from the shell on both sides. So that clam is nice and loose. We rip one shell, one side off, and we keep them just like that. Now we take some of the same stuffing. This is an easier way of doing it, though, because I have the spoon, which is about the same size as the clam. So I just take the spoon, and I just spoon that right over each clam. And just kind of pack it in, just like that. So let's get these guys. Andrew, can you fill the rest of these clams? And Kara, use, instead of dirtying another knife, we'll just use this. Take a little piece of butter, and actually that's a little too much. A nice half of that. And just put a piece of butter right on top of each clam. Just make sure it stays right on top. After Andrew fills them, you put the butter right on top. Right. That's it. Yeah, it falls off. It'll be, if it falls off, just get another piece. Okay, mushrooms are cooking, and artichokes. I think I'll switch the mushrooms right to the front here so I can start working on another dish. Shrimp scampi is another favorite. We usually have that on Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve in an Italian household is generally a fish dinner. And the fish is cooked several different ways. They say that you have fish, and this is a real tradition type thing. You have 7 fish, 9 fish, or any number of fish divisible by 3 for the Holy Trinity. 7 for the 7 sacraments. And a lot of people think that it has to be different fish, but it actually can be the same fish for each one, because a lot of villages in Italy were somewhat poor and didn't have a whole lot to offer. So whatever fish they caught, they would generally use the same fish and maybe cook it 7 ways or 9 ways. 9 was like the most religious number to use. We're going to put a little bit of paprika on those clams. This is going to give it a nice little color and give it a little bit extra flavor. And then when I do my baked clams, I like to put a little splash of wine. Just like that. A little bit over each one and a little in the dish so it's not too dry. Okay. Arrange those up a little better. And we'll put those right in the oven to cook. Let's see. Okay. Got a bunch of chopped garlic here. We're going to use the same knife. Andrew? Actually, this and this can go right in the sink. You're doing a great job as he's our cleanup man today. We always keep everything as organized as we can. A little bit more olive oil, I think. You guys like the shrimp scampi, sauteed nicely, right?
Yes.
You guys like shrimp a lot of different ways. I think your favorite way that you like shrimp is to have it at hibachi style.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cooked right in front of you. Okay. We're going to get this on high heat. We're going to get it browning up a little bit nice. And while we're doing that, I'm going to roast a couple of peppers. Nana makes the best roasted peppers. And we have a couple that are already roasted. While we're doing that, Adam, can you put the fan on for me? I'm putting peppers right on the open flame, just like that. That's the best way to roast them, whole. Some people roast them in the oven, some people do it on a barbecue, but I like them that way. And once they're done, we put them in a paper bag, and that helps the skin to loosen up. And then we peel. See, all this black was the burnt skin. That comes right off. Then we pull out all of the seeds, and then we cut them up and we marinate them with a little bit of garlic. Okay, let's see. Garlic is browning up for our shrimp scampi. I'm going to add the shrimp now. Andrew, another one for the sink. We're going to saute this. These shrimp will cook real quick. You know how you can tell when shrimp are done?
No.
You see how they're white when I put them in? And you see what's happening to them?
Yeah.
They're turning pink. When they're totally pink and they curl up, that means they're probably just about done. Cook those up a little bit. Let's check our mushrooms. Nope, still have to cook a little bit more. Now these peppers, the skin's going to turn all black. See how it's starting to get black? We want to wait until the whole thing gets nice and black. I'm going to keep turning them until they get totally, totally black. Let's take a peek at our artichokes. This is the kind of meal we got to keep checking everything we're doing just to make sure it's going the way we want. Oh, they're looking wonderful. While we're checking, we'll check everything else. Chipolline's looking good. Broccoli Rabe. Just want to mix around a little bit. See, that's all getting nice and wilted. See that, guys? Let me turn right around here. See how that's all very wilted? What was once sticking way out of the pot is now cooked down to a smaller amount. Okay. Now that those shrimp are changing color and looking almost done, we are going to add a little bit of breadcrumbs to it, the plain breadcrumbs, not the ones we mixed up with the cheese. Put that over there. And a little bit of lemon juice. Oops, got pits flying and everything. I'm going to mix that up. We'll give our peppers a turn now that they're getting nice and black. And a little bit of parsley for the shrimp. Let's put these peppers right here. Just want to bring this over so we can see it. Look at all those nice little bits of brown garlic. Oh, beautiful. That's going to be wonderful. Let's take a look and see what else we have here. Peppers are going good. Artichokes. You know what I think we should do? I think we should get set up, set a nice table, and we'll make a beautiful display, just like we were having a big holiday dinner at home or at Nana's house or at Grandma Nina's house. We'll put out a nice display of all the foods we've cooked. What do you think? Sound like a good idea?
Definitely.
Okay. Well, folks, we've got a beautiful holiday table set. I think I'll pour a little bit of water for us. A little bit of vino for Dad. Andrew, can you provide us with a little bit of background music?
I don't know.
Well, perhaps a Mr. Andrew Jackson and your tip cup will help. How about that? Folks, we want to wish everybody a happy and a healthy holiday season. Greetings from Classic Thyme Cooking School in Westfield.